that person was a complete asshole, and him dying doesn't change that. So I still feel that way. Hello, fellow humans. Chris here again. Apologies for the extended absence. Have some personal things going on that we'll probably be delving into a little bit in the future as time permits. But for now, I wanted to talk about the death of Rush Limbaugh. I've noticed that when public figures die, particularly if it's a somewhat of a controversial public figure, some version of the following three conversations will take place. One of those is admiration for this person, oftentimes nestled with a kind of amnesia of the things that this person stood for in their life or in their career. Or it might be the complete opposite, which is that that person was a complete asshole and him dying doesn't change that. So I still feel that way, and I want to let that be known. Or the third one, well, this person was a certain way for the public. It was his persona, but it's not how he was in real life. It wasn't how he was if you knew him personally. I live in Sacramento, and Sacramento is where Rush Limbaugh got his start in radio a long, long time ago. I actually interned for a short time at 1530 KFBK, where he worked. This was long after he worked there. But I've met and worked with a few people who had worked with him before. And a lot of broadcasters in the Sacramento region either know personally or through common connections have associated with Rush Limbaugh in some way. And I have heard a lot of defense of Rush Limbaugh's name and character based on the premise that he was a good person in person, away from the mic, away from the public. He was a kind person who did a lot more listening than speaking and never belittled anybody, never made anybody feel less than for their opinions or viewpoints. That may be true, that he was a good person away from the mic, but when we're judging a public figure, if that person's personal life persona is incongruent with who they are either in front of the camera or behind the mic, then the only thing that really matters is their public persona. For all intents and purposes, for the public, how he was in private is completely meaningless. Sure, it might be something to his family, his friends, people that knew him, and those are the people that we feel our condolences towards, his family and loved ones, of course. His words in public had a tremendous impact on the culture of our society, and one could argue that could have even cost lives, in particular in this last year with his dismissiveness over COVID and his claims that it's nothing more than the common cold. One could also argue that his constant pushing of the narrative that the election was stolen didn't help things when it came to the insurrection that we saw in January. Anyway, point being, a person's at-home personal personality is utterly meaningless for people like us, for the public, for the common person who is following this particular person's career. And I guess I just wanted to remind people of that, and particularly the broadcasters, I will not name names, but media personalities and broadcasters in my area who have been shining a positive light on this man over the last 24 hours based on his behavior personally. You look at a guy like George W. Bush, I'm sure he's a nice person. I'm sure he's the kind of guy that, you could sit back, have a beer with, and have a good time, and just avoid the fact that he was a war criminal. But it doesn't change the fact of who he is and the actions that his words could have had. Anyway, I just wanted to share that. Thanks again for checking on me, and I'll try to be more consistent now. We want the subscriber count to go up, not down. So I will try to be more consistent here, and appreciate you sticking with me. And I'll talk to y'all again real soon. Have a great rest of your day, and remember, don't be afraid to question the consensus.